And instantly I was like, this is a good one. I need the full size. Another secret tip, because I really don't think it's on anyone's radar at this point. There was no YouTube. There wasn't even a forum where you could ask questions. If you struggle with oily and acne-prone skin, hopefully today's video can help you maybe pick a new toner that can at least alleviate the symptoms and the problems that the skin type brings. And I'm going to introduce you to 3 Korean toners today that I think are perfect for oily, acne-prone skin. In case you don't know me yet, my name is Cica. Hi, I am a key beauty and skincare content creator and just general lover of all things skincare. Super happy to have you with me today. Let's get started. For today's video, I picked 3 toners, Korean toners, that lately I've really been loving, or rather one of them I've been loving for quite a while now. I just feel the need to constantly talk about it again and again because it is still not very well known. All 3 of those, I think, are flying kind of a little bit under the radar at the moment when it comes to the large name influencers. So I just wanted to share the discoveries. Now, my own skin type by now is more kind of combo skin, but when I was younger, certainly in my 20s, I was very oily. And I also had a really long bout of really heavy hormonal, I believe it was probably hormonal acne back then. And in all truth, dermatologists were less than helpful back then. I had to kind of figure out my own skincare routine at a time where the internet was just in its infant shoes. There was no YouTube. There wasn't even a forum where you could ask questions. And I really wish Korean beauty would have existed in my life back then, which is why I now always have still a very soft, tender spot for anyone struggling with acne. My acne was so bad that it hurt. My entire face hurt, and I would get breakouts on top of not yet fully healed breakouts. So I would have these like crater-like intense breakouts, especially here and all over my forehead. It was truly, truly terrible. The way I solved it back then was through actually using organic skincare, German organic skincare. But if it had existed, I would have probably used mostly Korean skincare back then. The thing about Korean skincare that I really respect and appreciate is that they offer such light textures, and they also place a lot of emphasis on anti-inflammatory ingredients. And that is something that is really, really important if you suffer from acne. Also, if you have oily and easily inflamed skin. And in particular, if you have a mix of sensitive yet also oily and acne-prone skin. In that case, if you struggle with that particular skin type, which was my skin type for most of my younger years, this really is so difficult. It's really so difficult to find good products. And again, I think these 3 toners that I picked today should be a good choice. They contain anti-inflammatory ingredients, sometimes even antibacterial ingredients, but they're still very, very gentle. However, I do have to, as always, caution you to please not just blind buy anything that an influencer recommends. Make sure to always check if it doesn't contain an ingredient that you personally are allergic or sensitive to. I cannot know what triggers your acne. I cannot know what triggers your skin. So I'm only offering products that I think are really, really great, but it doesn't mean that I can guarantee that they're great for you specifically, because I don't know you. So please take everything any influencer says with caution and double check the ingredient list. But the 3 toners that I picked should be relatively low risk, and they really are just perfect if you struggle with oily skin in particular. So the first toner pick I have not talked about yet on this channel. I probably showed it in an unboxing when I unbox my Olive Young orders every month, but apart from that, I have not talked about it yet. I bought the full size because I had a little sample sachet of this toner in one of my orders, and instantly I was like, this is a good one. I need the full size. It also had already kind of been on my radar because it's very, very popular and has been consistently popular on the Korean Olive Young website. And it is this one, which just got a makeover. So they rebranded this brand just recently, I think like last month, I want to say. And it is the Bring Green Tea Tree Cica Soothing Toner. Now, Bring Green is a CJ brand, and CJ is the large chaebol conglomerate behind Olive Young. So it's basically one of the Olive Young home brands. Many of the popular brands that you see on TikTok, on Instagram, etc., or here on YouTube are actually CJ brands. And that's why Olive Young pushes them, of course, maybe a little bit more aggressively and prominently compared to other brands, because they have a vested interest, of course, in them selling well. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean that they're bad brands. On the contrary, I really do like Bring Green. They usually offer quite affordable and really solid products that are often made from premium manufacturers. Kolmar Korea or one of those other large name manufacturers. Kolmar is always the only one that I can remember. I think the other one is Cosmex, I believe. Anyway, they're a couple and they all have kind of their own specialties, and they are behind these more affordable brands just as much as behind more premium brands. The Bring Green Tea Tree Cica line, I tried the moisturizer before and I also really liked it, and actually always forget to talk about it because I actually think this is a great gel textured moisturizer for oily skin. The whole line has been developed predominantly for oily skin. This toner, the reason why I really, really like it, number one, it's super light. It's basically just completely watery, as you can tell. I'll also definitely show you a close-up at some point in this video, although there's not much to show because it will just kind of run down my hands probably. It looks basically like water, and it has only a very light sort of viscous slip. So it is hydrating, but it's hydrating on a very, very light basis, which when you have oily skin, honestly, is the preferred texture. So texture-wise, really fantastic for combo skin, oily skin. That's what it was made for as well. The second reason why this toner is so wonderful is, of course, the ingredients, which are tailor-made for people struggling with inflamed skin, acne-prone skin, breakouts, blemishes, and general overproduction of oil on the skin. It contains, obviously, tea tree. It contains a 5-type tea tree complex, which means that it contains a couple of different extracts from different parts of the plant, tea tree water, and also tea tree essential oil. So that's the first sort of disclaimer for this toner recommendation. If you know that you have hypersensitive skin, and if you especially don't do well with fragrant essential oils, then this is probably not the right toner for you. I would still consider it to be quite gentle, but then I also do really well with tea tree. I feel with tea tree based products, when it comes to people with acne and oily skin, there are really only two extreme camps. Either you do terrible with tea tree, or you do really, really well with it. I have never met an in-between sort of, it doesn't bother me, but it also doesn't do anything. Either your skin will hate it or love it. I can't make that decision for you, but you probably already know whether or not it's good for you, because most people with that skin type have already tried pretty much everything. The toner also contains Centella asiatica, hence the Cica, so it contains a Centella asiatica complex plus panthenol, which is a very soothing ingredient. And honestly, that's almost everything in this toner. It also doesn't contain hyaluronic acid. It contains betaine, which is also a hydrating ingredient, and that's kind of the main hydrator. Otherwise, that's about it. No alcohol and no other added fragrance besides the tea tree essential oil. And that's basically also what you smell the most. It just smells of tea tree. If you know that sort of strong, pungent, sort of herbal smell, that's what it smells like. So it is really a quite minimalist formula that is just very focused on soothing. So it's not hyper-hydrating, but the reason why I bought it instantly after trying that little sachet was because it just had such an overall soothing effect on my skin, and it was actually surprisingly hydrating. I didn't expect it, but when I put it on my face, I could really feel that it kind of got soaked up instantly, and my face was just super happy with it. I could really feel that it just felt a little bit plumper and really well nourished and hydrated without feeling too heavy or overloaded. So that's why I think it's a perfect toner for people with oily and acne-prone skin. It is hydrating, maybe not intensely so, but that also means that your skin is not overloaded. And it's beautifully anti-inflammatory and very, very soothing. Again, only disclaimer, unless you don't do well with tea tree, then this is not the right choice. Maybe the next toner will be a better choice for you in that case. And toner number 2 that I think is really fantastic for oily, acne-prone skin, and also is another, I think is probably another secret tip, because I really don't think it's on anyone's radar at this point, outside of Korea that is. It's this one, from one of my favorite brands from Korea, Round Lab. This is the Round Lab Pine Tree Soothing Cica Toner. I always have to look at my notes because it's only written here in Hangul. This really was a surprise hit for me. I bought it because it was on sale. I always kind of tend to gravitate towards things on sale. And because I really like the ampoule from this series, from this range. The whole Pine Tree Soothing skincare range from Round Lab is truly excellent. I have not had a bad product from them. The body wash is great, and the ampoule, I love it so, so much. It's also so good if you have acne-prone and oilier or sort of combo skin. This just... First of all, it's super minimalist, truly very stripped down, as are most Round Lab products, honestly. And what surprised me was that it was extremely hydrating, even though it is extremely light, comparable to the Bring Green toner. It just really gives you that wash of hydration and that refreshing feeling that I really, really enjoyed. This contains, obviously, Cica. It contains a really strong Centella asiatica complex. It's got pretty much all of the active compounds from the Centella asiatica plant in one. So it is very soothing, anti-inflammatory. And this is combined with pine tree extract. Now, pine extract is actually quite popular in many Korean products that specifically target people with oilier skin. It became kind of a bit of a trending ingredient, I think around 3 years ago, and it's kind of still sticking around. It never really became like the it ingredient, but you will still find it featured in many, many products. And it's said to be, well, first of all, it's a really strong antioxidant, so it's good for well aging and fighting UV ray damage. It also does have soothing properties and, again, anti-inflammatory and even slightly antibacterial properties. So it's really, really good when you struggle with redness and those nasty breakouts that kind of itch and burn, just to soothe down your skin overall. This toner also contains neem extract, and neem extract is really great when you have acne-prone skin because it acts again as an antibacterial. It is also antiseptic and can even be antifungal. So it might be a good one for fungal acne, although I never want to really make those claims because I don't know enough about fungal acne to say that something is fungal acne safe or not. So you might have to double check on that one, sorry. But I always find these rules around fungal acne too complicated, to be honest. But neem extract in general should be a good ingredient to look out for if you struggle from more fungal acne types of breakouts. This also contains a little bit of gluconolactone, which is a PHA, although I suspect it's just a very low concentration because I can't say that I found this like hyper exfoliating or anything. Overall, it's still a very, very gentle formula, but you might get slight exfoliating benefits from this. In terms of hydration, this contains glycerin, plus also 3 types of hyaluronic acid, which is why it's surprising that it's still so lightweight. Really does have a pretty much watery texture comparable to the Bring Green toner. I would say it's a little bit more hydrating. Not super spectacularly so, but it does seem to just have a little bit more viscosity, and overall just certainly seems just a tiny bit richer almost. And unlike the Bring Green toner, it does not contain any extra added essential oils. So it's basically fragrance free, and it's also alcohol free, as is the Bring Green one as well. I really would recommend this very highly if you have hyperreactive skin, if you struggle with a lot of redness, with inflammation overall, and you just really want to soothe and calm down your skin, because it just, to me, is one of the most soothing and pleasant and lightweight and minimalist toners that I've tried in a long time. It's a good one to choose when you have sensitive skin, because it has such a stripped down ingredient list. So even if you find you don't do well with it, it's easier to determine from the ingredient list what it could be that could cause any type of reaction, right? That's why in general with sensitive skin, it's always better to choose products with not as many ingredients, not because it's bad or because of chemicals or whatever, but just because you can have better control over what you put on your skin and see how your skin reacts to it. And then it's easier to determine what the culprit may be if you do break out or if you do have a reaction, right? Yeah, this one really great. Usually you can also find it for good prices as long as it's on sale at Olive Young. Roundlab just consistently is such a wonderful go-to brand for any skin type, really. Oh, and also this is a great brand for men, as is the Bring Green stuff as well. They usually actually, advertisement wise, they actually target it more towards men, because I always see they have male models holding up the the products, and they work quite well, both of these brands, because they're both basically sort of unisex sort of packaging style, right? This last toner recommendation is actually a toner pad, and I have talked about it extensively already, but I saw it kind of sitting on my shelf and I thought, I need to mention this again. I'm on my second pack now. It was a repurchase for me, which rarely happens because I always try to try out new things. But this one, I have yet to find a better pad. There's one contender at the moment, which is the Mediheal Phytoenzyme pad. It might become my new favorite, but this other one that I'm introducing you today, in case you haven't seen me already raving about it, still remains my favorite, and it's this one from WELLAGE. There have been products from WELLAGE that I wasn't a fan of. Their famous blue hyaluronic acid serum, not a fan. But these, that again, no one talks about, I love them. They're so good. This is the Real Cica Calming Big Embo Toner Pads. Truly the best exfoliating pads. I know. Forget the Cosrx ones, the red ones, not as good. Forget, I don't even know which other ones are are popular at the moment. I tried the Cell Fusion C one that is popular, not as good. This one just remains my favorite because, first of all, I actually can tell that it exfoliates and really helps remove dead skin cells when I use this, especially if I use this as makeup prep. I can always tell afterwards that my skin just feels and looks smoother and more polished overall, and I have less struggle with flakiness of the foundation afterwards. Just everything gets absorbed better and everything just looks smoother overall. This contains both PHA, gluconolactone in this case, and LHA. LHA is a sort of a BHA, not sort of, it is a BHA derivative that was developed by L'Oreal actually. It was a L'Oreal exclusive ingredient. And it, to me, actually works better than pure BHA for some reason. I always have great results with LHA containing products. It works pretty much the same, so it helps with pore care, and it helps if you have blackheads and breakouts, and it also helps to regulate sebum, as does the PHA as well. The PHA also helps to polish off skin a little bit, and it's great if you have trouble with texture issues and sort of dead skin cells or anything that kind of causes sort of that flakiness. Both of these acids probably aren't very highly concentrated, which is why I'm always surprised how well this works. As I said, I really do see a difference when I use these. The second reason why I really like these, and again would warmly recommend them for anyone with more acne-prone or oily skin that is still sensitive, is that the overall formula of this, the overall formula is just so soothing. It contains a Centella asiatica complex, so you've got a lot of calming and soothing, and it also contains a hydrating hyaluronic acid, plus also a little bit of glycerin. So they are surprisingly hydrating, and also there's so much fluid in here that the toner pads sit in, that you can even buy a couple of extra toner pads, dry toner pads, and use those to soak up more of the fluid. So they last quite a while as well, I find. Now, I have to say, the two things that annoy me a little bit about them, they're also fragrance and alcohol free, also very important to mention. The only two things that annoy me about them a little bit is that I would actually like to see the pads being a little bit bigger, a bit larger. I think they're a tiny bit small, but I have that problem with a lot of Korean toner pads. That's number one. And number two, for some reason, and I always wonder if I just didn't see it and threw it out with the packaging, but this was with the second package as well, so I don't think I did. They don't have one of those separating extra lids. I don't know. It just kind of opens up, and you kind of have to awkwardly store the tongs that come with it. I always kind of store them awkwardly here so that they don't fall into the liquid. I don't know. I still think maybe I've overlooked something. When I repurchase them for the third time, which I will have to double check the packaging, because somehow this just seems weird to me. I've never seen a toner pad not have that extra lid. So those are the two things that annoy me. There's more kind of superficial and cosmetical, but in terms of what this does for my skin, I think it just remains a true favorite of mine. It's soothing, calming, mildly exfoliating, anti-inflammatory, truly beautiful. And there you have it, my 3 Korean toner recommendations for oily and acne-prone skin and sensitive skin that still suffers from oiliness and breakouts, which is such a hard skin type to deal with. I should know, because that used to be my skin type predominantly when I was younger. So you have my deepest sympathies. I know what it's like. I truly do. I hope you found this helpful. I hope I helped you maybe find some new Korean products that hopefully not that many other people have talked about. I always try to kind of find hidden gems. That's kind of my thing. And I really hope you will stick around. Maybe subscribe. That would be really helpful and wonderful, because it really helps me grow my channel, which is an ordeal in today's world of the tough YouTube algorithm. And maybe leave a thumbs up and a nice comment. I always love to see your comments. It's actually getting difficult to reply to all of them, because there are quite a lot now, which is exciting. So keep them coming. I do try to answer as many as I can. And you see me again next week. I always do a video every week, usually on Thursday. And until then, please take care. Bye.